My beloved child, not every day carries the same rhythm, and not every moment bears the same weight. There are instances, quiet, almost imperceptible, when something begins to shift within the flow of time, like a breeze gently stirring the branches, like a ray of sunlight slipping through a break in the clouds. These are the signs, subtle but sacred, that something divine is drawing near. And tomorrow, perhaps, might be one of those days. A day unlike any that came before. A day when your life quietly turns a new page, maybe only by a single step. But that one step will bring you closer to what your soul has long been seeking. Do you remember the times you prayed through tears, the evenings you stared silently at the ceiling, filled with questions that had no answers? You once whispered, "Why me?" or "When will I understand all of this?" or "Am I even on the right path?" I heard you, not just once, but every time. I listened, I watched, and I prepared not just what you wanted, but what you truly needed. Yet, my dearest, the gifts I offer do not always come in forms you expect. They are not always loud or grand. More often, they arrive as quiet, fleeting moments, easily missed if you are not fully present. Tomorrow, someone may say something seemingly ordinary to you, but it will stir a place deep within your heart, a place you thought had long fallen silent. Or perhaps as you walk down a familiar street, a passing breeze may stop you in your tracks, leaving you with tears in your eyes and no clear reason why. You will think, "How strange." But do not rush past that feeling. Stay with it. Listen. For it is in such moments that I speak to you, not through words, but through presence, not with thunder, but with the gentle warmth of morning light. I know you long for clear answers, for unshakable guidance, but wisdom does not always arrive as a commanding voice. It comes in stillness, if you are brave enough to listen. It comes in the subtle stirrings of your soul that only emerge when you slow down enough to feel them. When a detail catches your heart, a tender glance, a clumsy but sincere word, or a song that plays at just the right moment, it is not coincidence. It is the orchestration of love. And maybe tomorrow you will remember something from long ago. A memory you thought was lost. Your mother's gaze, your father's hand, a rainy afternoon from your childhood. Do not dismiss these as stray recollections. They are my way of anchoring you to your roots. Because you cannot know where you're going if you don't know where you've come from. These memories are threads in the tapestry of your understanding, lighting up corners of your mind that were once dim. I will use all you have lived, your joys and your sorrows, to awaken within you a deeper clarity, a perfectly timed awakening. I aid, I betray, I command, I honor. I do not want you to pass through this life like a mere visitor. I want you to live fully, every day, every moment. For each moment is an invitation from me. Every heartbeat, every breath, is part of the sacred dance in which you are already moving, whether or not you realize it. And if you are brave enough to pause, gentle enough to open, you will see. Nothing is ordinary when I am present. I am training you, not with rigid lessons, but with life itself. Through tiny pieces, through your stumbles and your rising again, I want you to learn to see me not only in the miraculous, but in the everyday, in a humble meal, in the kindness of a stranger's glance, in the morning birdsong you often overlook. When you begin to see life with grateful eyes and an open heart, you are learning to dwell in my presence. My beloved, this journey is not easy. I never promised it would be. But I promised you this: you will never walk alone. I am there in every tear, every joy, every unexpected turn. I am there in the loving silence, in the moments when you feel most lost. And tomorrow, or very soon, you will come to see one profound truth. Nothing that happens is meaningless. Everything is a deliberate stroke in the grand design I've placed in your life, so that when you look back, you will see a picture more wondrous than anything you could have imagined. And do you know? Sometimes I do not come to give you an answer, but to plant a seed. Something small, fleeting, that seems insignificant, yet in time it will take root, grow strong, and bloom. You may not see its worth now. You may doubt, you may resist, even reject it, but I am not in a hurry. I know every step you take, every turn of your heart. I see the fear you hide behind your smile, the weight that wears you down each night, and still, I remain quiet, patient, for true love never hurries, never forces. Love waits. I wait for you to be ready to open, to stop running, to return to yourself. Everything you've experienced, joy and sorrow alike, are bricks building the path beneath your feet, and I use each one to shape the way ahead. Do not be afraid when you cannot see me clearly. Do not lose hope when your prayers seem unanswered. Some things, if given too early, would arrive before you are ready to receive them. Some answers, if given too soon, would make you miss what is greater ahead. Remember, flowers do not bloom in winter, but winter is still essential for them to one day blossom. My silence is not absence. It is space, so you can learn to hear, and one day, as you live fully with trust, what you once hoped for will arrive, not in the form you imagined, but in a way that will show you that every trial, every sign, every wait was meaningful. That is when you will not only see me, but see yourself clearly, steadily, and radiant with light. And that, my child, is the greatest miracle of every journey. Not that you find something outside of you, but that you find your way back to yourself. In the deep presence of the unconditional love I have always held for you. So be ready, not by striving or worrying, but by slowing down. Open your eyes, and even more, open your heart. Trust that you will recognize the moment at the right time in the right place, and when it comes, breathe deeply and smile, because you will know it is me, my beloved child. Every step you take is not by chance. Every morning you wake, whether bright or gray, has already been inscribed in a wondrous design. A design I carefully sketched long before your first cry. Even if you have never seen it. Even when you wonder if there is any plan for you at all. The truth remains, your life is not a string of random events. Everything has purpose. And today, I ask you to set aside your daily worries and listen. Truly listen, because there is something I want to tell you. a truth, gentle yet profound, that may forever change the way you see the world. There will come a day, not dazzling, not grand, perhaps not remarkable in appearance, when you encounter a moment that feels perfectly ordinary. Something as simple as a stranger's smile in a crowded street, an offhand comment someone makes, a bus arriving a few minutes late, a mistimed rain, or even a vague feeling that causes you to pause without knowing why. You'll be tempted to call it coincidence, a tiny moment in a long day, but my child, stop. Pay attention. Because it is in those very things, which seem so insignificant, that I am whispering to you. You still think that my presence must arrive in glory, in prophetic dreams, a voice from the sky, or undeniable miracles. But my child, the deepest love is rarely loud. The truest guidance is seldom flashy. I do not always reveal myself through the grand or the strange. I delight in entering your life through the simplest things, for it is in simplicity that the heart opens most. It is within the ordinary that you will learn to recognize the extraordinary. I know that in this modern life you are always in a rush. Your schedule is full of tasks to complete, people to meet, expectations to fulfill. There isn't much space left in your soul to listen to a faint calling or to recognize a fragile signal from the invisible realm. And that is precisely why I must remind you. Do not let the noise of the world out there drown out the voice within you. I am still speaking. I am still guiding. I have never left. Imagine a drop of morning dew, small, delicate, easily evaporated under the early sunlight, but if you bend down and look closely, you'll see the entire sky reflected within that drop. Just the same, the small moments in your life, even those lasting only seconds, can reflect the light of eternity. I use those moments to reach you, to teach you how to see deeply, so that you may learn this truth. Not everything that is loud holds meaning, and not everything that is quiet is insignificant. So on that day, a day you may not even realize is important, I will send you a sign, just a small one. But if you are awake enough, still enough within, you will recognize my presence. It may be a sudden warmth on a cold day, a strangely familiar feeling when you step into a place you've never been, or a thought that flashes through your mind and makes you stop and ponder. When it happens, do not doubt. Do not dismiss it. Let yourself pause, take a deep breath, and open your heart. Because that is not just a feeling. That is my message to you. You have longed for a clear instruction, a direct answer from me. But I choose to guide you as a father teaches his child, to walk with their own feet, to see with their own eyes, and to feel with their own heart. For if I did everything for you, you would never grow. If I answered you immediately on every question, you would never learn how to trust. But if you are willing to move through days of uncertainty, moments of waiting, and intervals of doubt, then, when the moment comes, you will know it is real. And you will realize you have grown into it. My presence does not reside in lofty places, but weaves itself through every breath of ordinary life. When you wash your hands under cool running water, when you hear a child's laughter, when you watch the evening light fall on old tiled roofs, I am there. When you feel most alone, convinced that no one understands you, I am there. When you fail, when you doubt yourself, I am still there. Not leaving because of your weakness, not turning away because of your mistakes, My love for you does not shift with your success or failure. It is steadfast, enduring, and beyond what you can comprehend. So from today onward, learn to live more slowly. Do not only seek me in grand, exalted places. Learn to look deeply into each moment. Learn to be silent so you can listen. Trust that every day can be a doorway to the sacred, if your heart is open. And when you find yourself standing in what seems like an insignificant moment, remember, it could very well be the instant I am touching you. And that, no matter how small, is enough to change your whole journey. Because, my beloved, I have never abandoned you. I am simply waiting for you to realize I have always been here, amid what appears to be the ordinary life. My dear child, perhaps you have never believed that a fleeting moment could carry within it the weight of the sacred. Perhaps you still think that to hear me, to feel my presence, you need great miracles, resounding prophecies, or a voice calling from the far beyond. But no, my child, that is not the way. I do not always choose to reveal myself through grand things. I come to you through the simple and the quiet. So quiet that if you are not fully present, you could easily pass it by without ever knowing you had just walked past a miracle. It may happen that one day, perhaps even tomorrow, you will hear someone ask a seemingly casual question, but it will stop your heart for a moment. A question that draws you inward, makes you reflect, perhaps even brings you to tears. Or perhaps you will come across a phrase in a book, a line in a song, or a word from a stranger, and that word will thread its way into the depths of your soul and stay there, refusing to leave. That is not coincidence. That is my message to you, not spoken through sound, but through the silent resonance between your soul and my heart. And perhaps, on an afternoon that seems forgettable, you will suddenly feel a strange lightness, as if someone placed a hand on your shoulder and whispered, "It's okay now, don't be afraid." You will feel peace, though no one has consoled you, though nothing outwardly has changed. Or the light on a familiar path will soften unexpectedly, causing you to stop and notice something new in an old scene. In moments like those, don't rush past. Stand still. Take a deep breath. Let your heart open and feel, because that moment, that is me. I know you often look for special signs, great events to assure you that I am near. But, my child, I do not need to shake the heavens to prove it. I do not need to part the skies to say, I am here. For true love does not need display. True love does not need to shout. Love is when I whisper to you through the smallest of things, in the silence of late afternoons, in the gentle rhythm of your breath after a long, tiring day. I walk beside you through every stretch of the road, through each glance, each sound that seems too ordinary to matter, but actually holds the clues that I am still guiding you. End of poem. This is Zeal, his Zion light. So tomorrow, live more slowly. Don't let life sweep you away so quickly that you forget you are alive. After 4 p.m., I hope you will walk with more stillness, more awareness. Look closely at the faces that pass you by. Is there someone who feels strangely familiar? Is there a glance that startles you, as if it belonged to a dream you once had? Does someone appear, say something unremarkable, but stir something deep within your heart. You may also suddenly think of someone. A name arises in your mind without clear reason. Do not dismiss it as random. In the delicate design I have made just for you, no detail is without meaning. Everyone who enters your life brings a piece of the lesson, a part of the message, a fragment of the light meant to unlock something new in your soul. When you sense something strangely familiar, that is the sign, a point on the map I have quietly drawn, waiting for you to recognize me in every contour of your life. Sometimes I will subtly shift your path without your knowing. You might take a different road than usual. You might forget something and have to turn back. A meeting might be delayed, and you feel annoyed. But in those little offbeat moments, I am gently steering you, not to make you lost, but to bring you exactly where your heart needs to be. Not everything that doesn't go according to plan is a mistake. Some things that defy the plan are perfectly aligned with divine intention. And my child, what matters most is not whether you hear a clear voice. What matters is, are you willing to open your heart to receive? Is your soul quiet enough to hear what your physical ears cannot? Are your eyes sensitive enough to see what lies beneath the layers of the everyday? When you begin to live with this awareness that everything may be my message, then the whole world will begin to unfold before you like a book full of metaphors, waiting for you to discover. And then you will understand, I have never been far away. I am still here, still whispering, still guiding. With every breath, every encounter, every fleeting emotion, you only need to slow down, open your heart, and believe. The smallest things are where I dwell. My beloved child, the life you are walking through, day by day, hour by hour, does not always unfold with echoes or earth-shaking events as you often hope. I know that you have long yearned for great things, a life-changing opportunity, a miraculous turning point, an unexpected door flung wide open. You've placed so much hope there, so much effort and even sleepless dreams, but today there is one thing I need you to understand, a truth that may seem simple, yet holds the profound secret of true growth. The most important, lasting, and meaningful things often arrive in silence. I have seen you grow weary from chasing dramatic changes and grand results, hoping to prove your worth, to know for sure you are on the right path. You've waited for applause, a clear sign, a well-earned reward. And you ask yourself, why hasn't it come yet? Or, am I losing my way? But, my dear one, I do not build a beautiful life for you through crashing waves. I do not shape your maturity through storms. I begin from the roots, little by little, in the quiet, patient, and deep layers of the soil. I shape you through the smallest choices, the decisions you make when no one is watching, through each time you speak kindness while carrying hurt, through every early morning you rise despite fatigue, every promise you keep, even when it's inconvenient, every time you say no to what's wrong, though no one would ever know. That is how I lay the foundation for a resilient soul. These things may go unnoticed, uncelebrated, but I see them, and I remember them. Tomorrow, like a gentle stream seeping into the earth, will not be a day to overwhelm you. It won't come to dazzle you or thrust you suddenly to a mountaintop. It will arrive to offer you something deeply significant for your human journey. A portion of your becoming, carefully wrapped in details the naked eye easily misses. A small question that makes you pause. A quiet decision that alters the flow of your inner world. A tender light slipping into a forgotten corner of your soul. Look back on your life. Haven't the moments that shaped you most clearly come not from the loudest things? Haven't your greatest lessons followed silent failures, sleepless nights alone, or those wordless hours watching the world move while your heart silently shattered? That is where true growth begins, not under the spotlight, but in your choices made in the dark. And it is there that I dwell, not to perform instant miracles, but to walk beside you, to raise you gently and faithfully. Understand this: true transformation does not need to be displayed. Like the roots of a tree that dive deep underground, unseen, unpraised, yet they are what keep the tree standing through the storm. I do not wish for your growth to be fleeting. I want it to be eternal. And for that to happen, I need you to recognize the value of every small thing. Every moment you listen to yourself. Every time you choose what's right with no audience. Every time you keep going, not for anyone else, but because you believe in something higher, deeper, steadier. So tomorrow, when you find yourself in a moment that seems ordinary, remember, the extraordinary may lie beneath it. When an opportunity arrives that doesn't look like what you imagined, don't reject it too quickly. When someone shows up without the guide appearance you were expecting, still, listen. When your heart stirs over something seemingly trivial, don't dismiss it. That might be the moment I am closest to you. I do not come to stir up storms. I come so you may recognize the sacred rhythms of life, flowing with divine subtlety. And if you truly pay attention, if you slow down enough to feel each breath, each step, each glance, you will witness something wondrous. I never left. I was never silent. It's just that you were too busy searching for the grand and forgot that it is the small things, done repeatedly, with love and awareness, that build the strongest, most beautiful version of you. My dearest one, do not fear stillness. Do not underestimate the little things. Know that in every seemingly ordinary moment, I am inviting you into an encounter, not to amaze you, but so you may discover a deeper truth. I am always here, in every silent wave, in every gentle heartbeat of life. And it is there, in that sacred stillness, that you will find meaning. Not thunderous meaning, but nourishing meaning, helping you grow from within. Each day, my beloved, it is time for you to understand something very important, something that will change how you see life from this day forward. That not all miracles come clothed in splendor. That my voice doesn't always thunder through the storms or announce itself in dramatic upheaval. Many times I come to you in silence, in a moment you don't expect, in an ordinary phrase, or even in the glance of a stranger. Places where no one, not even you, imagined something sacred might be found, but that is how I love. Gently, discreetly, deeply. Perhaps, one day very soon, someone's response to your words will make you pause. Perhaps you will utter a kind phrase without even knowing why. Perhaps an invitation will come, pulling you beyond your comfort zone, making you hesitate, worry, even want to say no. And in that very moment, you will be tempted to brush it off, to label it as small, irrelevant. You may tell yourself, surely, this isn't something God would ask me to notice, but because you think that way, I chose that exact way. I chose to hide, so you would learn to recognize me with your heart, not your eyes. I chose simplicity to remind you that the most sacred things are not found in loud drums, but in the gentle breath of the human soul. I chose to be hidden in what seems random, so that when you are truly present, without judgment, without haste, without distraction, you will suddenly see, I never left. I am still speaking, still inviting, still walking beside you, through every kind act, every gesture of compassion, every moment you live honestly with yourself. Awakening, my child, is the key. I do not ask that you understand everything right away. I do not demand perfection before I appear. I ask only one thing. Are you truly present for your life? The more you pay attention to what truly matters, kindness, sincerity, understanding eyes, listening ears, the more clearly you will see that I am near, closer than ever. Perhaps, in a meeting that seems insignificant, I will show you something about someone you've never noticed before. Perhaps you'll realize they are hurting and need a word of comfort or a glance free from judgment. And in that moment, when your heart opens to another, you are opening the door for me to enter. Or perhaps I will gently reveal a truth about yourself, something you've hidden, avoided, or feared to face, not to frighten you, but to help you begin to touch the deepest, truest parts of yourself. And maybe, in a familiar moment, a routine conversation, a gentle criticism, or a lingering misunderstanding, I will invite you to respond differently, not with anger as you usually do, not with defense or retreat, but with compassion, with patience, with the trust that you don't need to win, you just need to love. That moment, small as it is transformation, not from the outside world, but from deep within you, my child. Real change doesn't begin with moving mountains or parting seas. It begins with a different gaze, a new way of living, a quiet but right choice. I am not looking for giant leaps. I am looking for a willing heart. A heart willing to look deeply, to slow down, to love even when it's messy, to forgive even when no apology is given. When you learn that, you will find me. Not somewhere far away, but right here. Within every moment you once thought was ordinary. You do not need to do extraordinary things to meet me. You only need to live with love, with a gentle gaze toward this life, and with hands ready to hold the small things. I do not need you to become a hero. I only long for you to become a listener, to listen to the world, to others, and to your own heart. For in the most silent voice, I am softly whispering your name, and you will come to realize it is not a miracle that changes you, but you yourself, in gentle and humble awakening, who have become the miracle. My beloved, there are days that come as softly as a breeze, no sound, no sign, no particular event, and yet it is precisely those days that form the foundation of something deep that is quietly taking shape within you. Do not let the calm appearance deceive you. Even when everything around you seems unchanged, I am still at work within you, subtly, intentionally and completely in love. You are being refined, not to become someone else, but to return to your truest self, the purest, bravest, most beautiful form I envisioned at the dawn of creation. Tomorrow will be one of those days, a day that no one remembers, no one celebrates, without the brilliance of stage lights, no fireworks, and no applause. Yet within that simple stillness, something precious will happen. Not loudly, not hurriedly, just a brief moment. A small pause in what seems like a steady flow of life, where I gently place a seed in your hand. Something so small that, if you are not attentive, you might miss it. But if you open your heart, if you hold it with all your care and reverence, that seed will grow in ways even you cannot foresee. You will not see the miracle immediately. There will be no signs to declare this is a turning point. But that is the beauty of what belongs to me. It does not strike the outward eye, but touches the depths within. I am never in a rush. I am patient like winter, holding life within the soil. Like a river slowly polishing its stones. Like sunlight persevering through layers of cloud. And so are you, becoming stronger, clearer, more radiant, not through noise, but through every quiet choice to do what is right, what is good, what is true. That seed may be a new thought, an unfamiliar emotion, a conversation that stirs reflection, or simply a moment of stillness in your heart that calls you to look within. But trust me, it is not meaningless. It is a beginning, and if you nurture it with presence, with faith, with the quiet hope that this small thing could become something great, then it will take root. It will rise, it will sprout, and it will bear fruit. And Helene, not only will it change the direction of your path, but it will open doors you never imagined you would walk through. You don't need to rush. You don't need to know how the future will unfold. Your task is to stay with that seed, to love it, protect it from haste and doubt, and believe that what I have placed in your heart always has purpose. The days of refinement are not easy. They do not come to please you. They come to purify you, like a skilled artisan patiently shaping a rough stone, knowing the treasure hidden within. And today, I want you to know, you are that gem. And tomorrow, once again, I will take up my delicate chisel, not to hurt you, but to awaken the beauty still sleeping within. My dear one, the future is not built by grand things happening all at once. It begins with a single piece, a choice, a small action, a shift in how you see or think. When you allow that seed to live and grow, it will lead you to what you once hoped for, once longed for. But now, you will arrive not by youthful yearning, but through true maturity. And that is how I build you, from the inside out, from the small to the great, from the silent to the extraordinary. Be ready for tomorrow, not with impatience, but with awareness. Receive what I give, even if you don't yet understand what it is. One day, when you look back, you will see it was that quiet moment, that tiny seed, that unnoticed day, which marked the beginning of something that not only changed you, but also altered the path you walk and the lives you will touch. So do not underestimate tomorrow. It may pass like any other day to the world outside, but to me and to you, it is sacred. A day of new beginnings. A day I choose to plant within your heart a piece of a grand plan you cannot yet imagine. And like everything that comes from me, it will always carry within it the potential of light. You only need to tend it, and I will make it bloom. My beloved, there are moments in life when my presence comes unannounced, without grandeur, yet it can spark a profound turning point if your heart is soft enough to listen. I know life often pulls you into a whirlwind where decisions are pressured and emotions are drowned in the noise. But my love for you does not operate in haste. It arrives in subtlety, in gentle invitation, like a passing breeze, a whisper in your soul that if you're not attentive, you will miss. Perhaps tomorrow, or sometime soon, you will meet a stranger. They may say nothing special. They could be the waiter at your regular cafe, an elderly person needing help to cross the street, or someone whose eyes tell you, quietly, they need something. And in that moment, your heart will stir with a small bell. Don't ignore it. Don't believe kindness is only for those you know. Don't think gentleness is a luxury reserved for spare time. Very likely, it is your gentleness. A kind word, a compassionate glance, a sincere listening ear that I want to send into the world through you. There may also come a time when you feel angry, hurt, or confused, so much so that you want to lash out quickly, sharply, as a way to protect yourself. It will feel like instinct, but right then I will whisper to you, wait, don't rush. That voice won't be loud, it won't force you, won't shout to command you, but it will be persistent, like a gentle hand on your shoulder, reminding you to return to yourself, to the best part of you, the part that once knew how to love without needing to win, that once knew how to stay silent to keep peace, that once knew how to yield to preserve human connection. And then there will be moments of opportunity, moments that invite you to act, to decide, yet you will be tempted to delay, because that choice demands courage, because you feel unprepared, because you fear making a mistake. You'll want to wait. But when I have already set the stage, when every piece has aligned perfectly, when the door opens, even just for a breath, I will urge you. Now, not tomorrow, not when everything is clear, but in that exact moment, when your heart knows what to do, even if your mind still questions. And it is in those very moments that you must remember, I do not coerce. I do not manipulate. True love does not pressure. It only invites, gently reminds, and quietly waits for you to see. But if you are brave enough to pause, in the midst of a busy life, amid the clamor of many voices, you will hear my voice clearly. Strangely clear, not because it is louder than others, but because it rises from the deepest place within you, the place you often overlook, but which is always your truest self. Believe that I am walking with you, not only in the obvious milestones, but in every quiet choice, every small reaction. Each time you withhold a hurtful word, each time you reach out to help someone, though no one sees it, each time you act from love rather than fear, that is when you are responding to my invitation. That is when you show the world the sacred is not far away, but lives in how a human being chooses to be kind, amid countless reasons not to be. And I want you to know this. I never stop speaking. The question is, are you ready to listen? Are you willing to slow down enough to hear that gentle yet persistent voice? That voice does not compete, does not seek to win. It waits patiently for you, because I love you with a love that is not dependent on your perfection. I do not wait for you to be strong before I call you. I call you precisely in your moments of weakness, because I know it is there that you can most easily feel the truth, if you allow yourself to touch the sacred stillness within your heart. So, if tomorrow you hear a whisper within, if you feel drawn to act, to forgive, to take a step, to pause, to love, do not hesitate. That is not just a feeling. It is my voice, gently inviting you to become the most beautiful version of yourself. And in that quiet response, you are beginning to step into something deeper than you imagined. A life of meaning, a journey walked with me, moment by moment, day by day, not needing grandeur, only honesty. My beloved child, today I will reveal to you something that you could not yet understand before, not because I was hiding it from you, nor because you were unworthy, but simply because some truths can only be received when the heart is tender enough, open enough, and mature enough to comprehend. Just as a season cannot arrive before the weather shifts, as a flower cannot bloom before its roots have sunk deep into the earth, today, in the stillness of your soul, I know that you are ready. You have asked me, why doesn't God tell me beforehand? Why must I walk in the dark? Why not explain everything clearly, so I don't have to be afraid, so I don't have to doubt? You have carried this question in your heart so many times, on sleepless nights, in days where it felt like you were wandering blind, with no hand to hold. And now, I will speak to you, not as a hidden mystery, but as a pure, gentle, and essential truth for the road ahead. My child, if I were to lay your life out like a scroll, so you could see every moment to come, every person who would pass by, every turn that would appear, you would no longer be living your own life. You would no longer be present. You would no longer listen to me with an open heart, nor come to me with faith that needs no proof. Instead, you would live reacting to what has already been revealed. You would try to adjust, to control, to avoid, or to rush. And each step would no longer be truly alive, but merely the replaying of a script already disclosed. You would become a spectator of your own life, standing outside of your own experience. Every emotion would grow cold, every miracle would lose its wonder, because you already knew the ending, and you would lose the most precious element in our relationship, living trust. You were not created to be a machine carrying out a pre-written plan. You were made to be a free soul, capable of love, of choice, of belief, of falling and rising again in my companionship. You were made to live, not to observe, to feel, not to predict. Every moment of your life, whether joyful or painful, clear or uncertain, is an opportunity to return to me, not through certainty but through faith, not because you know all things, but because you believe that I do. You do not need to see the whole map. You only need to take one step and then another. Because I am not only at the destination, I am with you in every step along the way. And in not knowing what lies ahead, a sacred ability is awakened in you. To truly listen, to truly trust, and to truly love. My child, I did not create you to be safe in knowledge. I created you to be alive in relationship with me. A relationship built on love, on trust, on the quiet conversations of the heart. When you don't know what's coming, you will need me. When you need me, you will seek me. And when you seek me, you will find your true self. Not a calculated version based on what's already known, but the real you. Remember this, not knowing is not abandonment. It is invitation. It is my whisper, saying, trust me, walk with me. You don't need to understand it all. Having me is enough. And I promise you this, something you can hold on to like a red thread through the journey. I will not let you be lost. You may move slowly. You may take wrong turns. You may feel confused and want to turn back. But I will always be there. Not to blame, but to remind you. You are still on the way, and I am still waiting for you. So from today onward, do not fear the unknown. Do not worry when the future is still a blurry painting. Live each day honestly, fully, and close to me. I will lead you step by step in ways you do not expect, but always on time. And one day when you look back, you will see nothing was random. Every moment, whether dark or bright, was a piece of the loving design I wove for you, even before you knew how to pray, how to trust, or how to love me in return. Because you were not created to know everything. You were created to believe. And when you believe, you will live out the very best of what I placed in you from the beginning. And that, my dear one, is the real life. My beloved, I did not create you to be an actor reading lines from a script. I did not give you life so you could recite pre-written responses, follow safe paths, or become a copy of a story written long ago. You were not born to live a programmed life, with no room for surprise, for whispering guidance, for silent transformation of the soul. You were created to walk, not with a plan, but with me. I do not call you to follow a path drawn in precise detail like an infallible map. I call you to walk with me, step by step, day by day, sometimes in sunlight, sometimes through mist. You do not need to know the destination. You only need to trust that I am holding your hand. I do not ask you to know what will happen. I only ask that you trust that I know. And that is enough. If I showed you everything, if I gave you the full picture, every twist, every loss, every miracle, every person who would come and go, what would happen? You would no longer need me. You would stop listening for my voice in the quiet of night. You would no longer lift your eyes and ask, "What should I do now?" You would no longer open your heart and say, "Lead me." You would take control of everything, and each step would become a reaction to a blueprint, not a relationship with a living God who loves you every single moment. And that, my child, is not what I want. I do not only want your understanding or your obedience. I do not seek children who behave perfectly by the book, but whose hearts are far from me. I want you, fully, both your mind and your soul, both what you know and what you do not yet understand. I did not come to be an answer to your life. I came to be a living relationship, a companion, a loving father, the artist who paints your life stroke by stroke, shade by shade, even when the canvas is still incomplete. I do not need you to get everything right to make me pleased. I need you to return to me when you falter. I need you to ask me when you are unsure. I need you to seek me in the haze of your days, because in that very dependence, not weakness, but deep trust, you truly begin to live. A meaningful life is not one where you know what will happen next, but one where you know that I am there. In every breath, every decision, every fall, and every rising. When you hold the whole picture in your hands, you will lean on it. You will follow the plan. But if you have only me, you will have to listen to every faint heartbeat, every gentle sign. And in that very act of listening, of waiting, of trusting, you will slowly become more like me. Your heart will soften, your eyes will be opened, your soul will be cleansed, not by knowledge, but by love. Because I don't just want your understanding, I want your heart. I want you, in your weakest moments, to still choose to return to me. I want you, in your moments of joy, to think of me first. I want you, in the moments when you don't understand why things happen the way they do, to still believe that someone is loving you through it all. I want your heart to break free from its old molds, so it can love, believe, and live with gratitude and true freedom. The kind of freedom that comes from knowing you are loved unconditionally. You don't have to do everything perfectly to be loved by me. I have loved you, even before you knew what love was. But that love cannot be complete if it only remains a matter of understanding. It needs to be lived, to breathe, to walk alongside you, each day, each minute, each choice. So, my child, if today you're unsure of what lies ahead, if you're walking forward without knowing the destination, do not fear. Don't strive to find the whole picture. Seek me. Take each step with me, in gentle trust, and you will see. I am not only painting a beautiful picture for you, but within the relationship between you and me, your life will gain its true meaning, not because you know it all, but because you know me. Not because you have all the answers, but because you hold a heart that knows how to listen. And that is the very reason you were created. To live in love. Not a measured love, but a love that is unfolding each moment. Between me and you, my beloved child, I know, I truly know, this is not easy for you. I see the deep longing within you, a desire to grasp what's coming, to clearly understand the path ahead, to plan and prepare so that you won't be surprised or stumble. You want to be steady. You want to be ready. You want to feel in control of your life, and you think that if you knew everything for sure, you'd walk with more confidence and peace. But today I want you to stop and listen deeply. Certainty is not the same as faith. I understand why you long for clarity. You are human, and your heart, when faced with the unknown, is easily afraid, easily doubtful, easily withdrawn. But my child, I did not create you to live as someone who knows all things. I created you to live as someone who knows how to trust, even when things are unclear. I created you to grow within mystery, to be strong precisely in the moments where answers are absent, because only when you don't know everything will you learn how to lean on me. And only when you step into the misty lands of the not yet known will you truly begin to see the light that comes from me. Faith is not born from guarantees. It is born from waiting, from the days you pray and hear only silence, from the nights you lie awake with a question no one can answer, from the moments you must choose without feeling fully sure, and still you keep walking, not because you know the way, but because you trust that I do, and you have the courage to give me the right to know it on your behalf. It is in the land of not yet, where things have not yet come to pass, where you feel as though you're only standing still. That's the place where I am quietly doing my greatest work within you. I am expanding your heart. I am cultivating patience in your soul. I am pulling out fear and planting in you the seed of rest. Not rest in answers, but rest in relationship with me. And each day, each second you live in that waiting, something is growing in you. A stability that doesn't come from knowledge, but from faith. You may not recognize it now. You may think you are falling behind. You may wonder why everything is delayed. But my child, roots do not grow when the branches are stretching. The deepest life happens underground, in the silence, in the dark, where no human eye can see. And that is where I am working in you. No one sees. Perhaps even you don't yet see. But one day, when you look back, you will understand. It was in the unclear days that I was preparing you for things you never even dared to dream of. Because I don't just want you to arrive. I want you to become someone who can truly live once you're there. I don't just want you to reach the dream. I want your heart to be deep enough to hold it, soft enough to live kindly within it, and strong enough not to lose yourself because of it. And all of that, it cannot be formed through the shortcut of certainty. It can only mature in the quiet chamber of faith, in the silent journey of trust, in steps taken without a map, but with a steady hand in mine. My dear one, stop trying so hard to know everything. Learn to remain with me in the unknown. Learn to believe that my silence is not absence, but preparation. The day will come when you step out of this fog and see more clearly the picture I've been painting. But when that day comes, you will no longer be someone who only wants to know. You will be someone who knows how to trust, how to love, how to be present, and how to walk in companionship with me. Not because everything is clear, but because the love between you and me has become unshakable. And that, my beloved, is true faith. And that is why I am still waiting for you in the very place that feels most uncertain. Because I know that there you will find me. Not with your eyes, but with your heart. My precious child, perhaps many times in your life you have pleaded with me to let you see the future. You've earnestly asked me to reveal what is coming. Tomorrow, next week, or a year from now. You think that if you knew it all, you would be better prepared, make fewer mistakes, live with more peace. I understand that. You seek safety because your heart is tender and your mind often anxious. But today, let me tell you a profound truth. A truth I hope you will embrace with all your loving trust. If you knew exactly what would happen, you would lose the very thing that makes you human. You would stop choosing. You would no longer live as a free soul, but only as a machine following what's already been laid out. You would no longer gaze at each moment seeking what is best, because everything would have already been revealed. You would stop asking me, stop listening for me, stop waiting or walking in true relationship with me, and in doing so you would stop trusting. For what need is there for faith when every answer is already given? But my child, I have given you the most beautiful gift a creator can give to his creation: free will. I did not place you on a fixed path that you simply follow. I did not create you to obey coded commands like a program. I created you with the ability to choose what is right when wrong is easier, to choose honesty when deceit seems more convenient, to choose love even when you are still wounded, and above all, to choose love even when you are still wounded, and above all, to choose love even when you are still wounded, and above all, to choose love even when you are still wounded, and above all, to choose love even when you are still wounded, and above all, to choose love even when you are still wounded. And more damn it than that, I gave you this gift of freedom not as a burden to carry alone in the dark, but as a sacred and powerful treasure. It is in choosing, day by day, moment by moment, situation by situation, that you are becoming the person I long for you to be. Not because you know the outcome, but because you trust that I am with you in every outcome. And because I love you with a love that never coerces, I will not take that freedom from your hands. I do not reveal to you every outcome, not because I want to test you, but because I honor you too deeply to control your every step. If I were to tell you everything beforehand, then your choices would no longer be real. They would no longer be love. They would merely be compliance with a predetermined result. But love, my child, is never about compliance. Love is freedom. Love is when you are not compelled yet still choose to come closer. It is when you do not see clearly yet still choose to trust. It is when you know there is risk, there is pain, there is loss, but you still choose to love, to live fully, and to remain with me. That is true love, and that is what I long for from you, more than anything else. My dear one, I am not afraid of your mistakes. I do not panic when you choose the wrong path, for I am present at every crossroad, ready to welcome you back, ready to heal, ready to open a new way, even from what seemed like a detour. What I truly desire is not a flawless journey, but a free heart that chooses to stay with me, day after day, even amid uncertain outcomes. So, if today you are standing before a decision and feeling afraid because you do not know what will happen, remember this: I do not show you the end in advance because I love you too much. I want your choice to be real. I want your love to be true. And for that to be real, I hold the outcome in sacred silence, not to mislead you, but to draw you deeper into me, to invite you to trust more fully, to live in genuine relationship with me. Because the most important thing is not that you know where you are going, but that you know who is walking with you. And if that one is me, then even without knowing what lies ahead, you can walk in peace, in trust, and in a love far deeper than certainty. My beloved child, True love is the most beautiful thing a heart can carry, and also the most fragile and sacred. That kind of love cannot be forced. It cannot be programmed into commands, nor calculated like a formula. Because if love is a requirement, it ceases to be love. It becomes obedience, reflex, conditioning. But true love is different. It must be chosen, and that choice only holds value when it comes from absolute freedom. That is why I do not control you like a machine. That is why I do not lay out every detail like a fixed blueprint. Because I did not create machines to perform according to design. I am nurturing living souls, hearts that feel, that ache, that love, that choose. I want your love for me not to come from fear nor from self-interest. I want it to come from genuine trust, from your lived experience of walking with me through unclear days, from the times you chose to return even without promises, from the moments you whispered yes to me, though your heart trembled. These are the things that make love real. These are what shape a person who loves deeply and lives meaningfully. That is why I do not tell you everything. Not because I am distant, not because I am testing you, but because I am protecting the most sacred space between you and me, the space of freedom, of trust, of daily choice. I want you to live not just doing right, but loving rightly. Loving the way I love, the way I have always loved you, without calculation, without force, without condition. And so, I choose to speak to you through signs, through images, through repeating patterns in your daily life, and through gentle stirrings in your soul. I do not thunder like a storm. I do not demand instant understanding. I choose to appear like sunlight through leaves, like morning dew, like a soft stirring in your heart that makes you pause, listen, and reflect a little deeper. I leave space for wonder, because if everything were predictable, where would there be room for surprise? If you already knew every answer, where would be the joy of discovery? I love surprise, because it awakens you. It causes your eyes to open wider and your heart to be filled with gratitude. My wonders often do not come from the extraordinary, but from the ordinary, made alive in the light of faith. My child, I do not operate you, I nourish you. I do not assemble parts to produce a flawless product. I mold each part of your soul, with time, with silence, with failure, with hope, with tears, and with joy. I am not in a hurry. Love is never in a hurry. Love waits for you to grow little by little. And in that process, I never take my eyes off you. Not even when you cannot see me. Not even when you doubt. Not even when you think you've gone the wrong way. Because I did not create you to become useful. I created you to love and be loved. I am shaping a heart, not the heart of a hardened warrior, but the heart of someone who forgives, who feels, who holds on to beauty, even when everything seems broken. And my dear one, it is in that very journey that you will find yourself transformed. Not loudly, but deeply. Not through knowledge, but through experience. Not by knowing more, but by loving more. I do not need you to be perfect. I only need you to keep choosing me. Each day, each choice, each moment when you stand between fear and love. I am writing a story, and you are an irreplaceable part of it. Not a side character, but a co-creator with me, through your very freedom, and if you continue to choose love, choose trust, choose to return even after falling, then you will write the most beautiful pages of this story, not because you did everything right, but because you lived authentically. Remember this: I did not create perfectly operating machines. I am shaping hearts that can tremble to the depths because of love. And that love, free, refined, humble, is what makes radiant the person I created you to become. My beloved child, do you see now, when I speak through what you often call metaphors or riddles, I am not trying to confuse you. I am not playing hide and seek with your longing heart. No, my child, I am inviting you into something deeper, truer, more alive than any clear-cut answer could ever be. I am inviting you to come closer, not just with your mind, but with your heart, with your soul, with your real presence in this dialogue. When I speak in symbols, in signs, in things that ask you to ponder, it is not because I want to stay distant. On the contrary, it is my way of drawing you near, of awakening the depths within you, where my presence is not just understood, but felt, where I am no longer just an idea in a book, nor a vague belief passed down from others, but a living being walking with you every day. Can you see it? When you hear a clear statement, your ears may receive it, your mind may store it, but it may stay only on the surface. It may not make your heart tremble. It may not make you pause. Take a deep breath and place your hand on your chest and ask, what is stirring in me right now? But when I speak through images, through symbols, through spaces you must fill with your own soul, you are compelled to lean in and listen, compelled to slow down, compelled to enter a stillness where all the noise must fade, so that something subtler can speak. It is in that silence that truth ceases to be mere information. It becomes revelation. It is no longer just something right to know, but rather something to live and become. And that, my child, is what I long to give you. Not just answers, but relationship. You have often thought that maturity means knowing everything, understanding everything, doing everything right. But beloved, true maturity does not come from knowing. It comes from the journey of seeking. Maturity begins when you dare to ask questions, dare to doubt, dare to move forward without full clarity, dare to listen to me through what seems confusing, and yet choose not to walk away. It is in that faithfulness, in those moments of uncertainty when you still choose to remain, that you begin to grow. And do you know this? As you continue to seek me through your questions, it is then that I become real to you, not as an idea, not as a theory, not as a figure confined to sacred texts, but as a companion, one who quietly walks beside you, who whispers to your heart, who is present in both tears and laughter, one who does not require your full understanding, but who longs for you to believe this. I am with you in every step. You will begin to realize the things you thought were riddles are actually invitations. The places where you felt unsure are the spaces into which I'm drawing you into deeper connection with me. The unclear, the unfinished, these are the places where you learn to love me, not for the answers, but for my presence. My beloved child, I do not promise to always speak with perfect clarity, but I promise I will always speak. I do not promise a complete map, but I promise to hold your hand on every path. And if you have the patience to stay, to listen, to keep walking, even without understanding, then you will see. I was never a distant mystery. I was the one who had always been there, waiting for you to notice. And when that moment comes, when your heart knows that I am real, that I am near, that I love, then every riddle will matter less than the relationship you and I are living. A relationship that does not require full clarity to exist, only trust to grow. And that love, my child, is the truest thing you will ever have. Beloved one, understand this, and not merely with your intellect, but listen with your whole heart. Even if I were to reveal everything to you, if I were to pull back the entire curtain of the future, your heart would not be able to carry it. Not because you are weak, not because you are lacking, but because your heart was not designed to bear the full weight of what is yet to come all at once. Your soul, like a precious field, must be prepared, tilled, and nourished, season by season, layer by layer. Seeds cannot all be sown at once. Flowers cannot all bloom together. Fruit does not appear the moment the sprout emerges. Every truth I desire to give you, every word, every grace, has its appointed time, and that time depends not only on me, but on the growth within you, on the readiness of your heart, on the strength of spirit and soul you can carry. Have you ever tried to read an entire profound book in just a few minutes? The words would blur past your eyes, leaving nothing behind. You might even feel weary, confused. But when you read page by page, ponder chapter by chapter, live with each story, then the book is not merely understood, but becomes part of you. Your life is the same. If I showed you every chapter now, you would no longer read it with wonder, you would only read to know. But I want you to live, to experience, to absorb, to let every part of the story become something alive in you. That is why I have divided your life into seasons. There is a season of sowing, a season of waiting, a season of harvesting, a season of rest, and each season is essential. Do not rush past any of them just because you don't yet understand their purpose. There are seasons when I am silent, seasons when you feel like you're standing still. But no season is wasted. In every stage, I am preparing you for what comes next. Something that, if revealed too soon, could break you. You have believed that knowing would remove fear. But my child, some truths, if your heart is not strong enough to receive them, would not be light to you, but burden. And I never place burdens without giving strength. I never unveil what your heart is not ready to carry in peace, because I am not a teacher merely dispensing knowledge. I am a father. I am love. I am the one who tends your soul. Therefore I give you only what your soul can carry, no more, no force, no rush, no overload. And that is not limitation, that is protection. That is the tender love of my heart. I do not withhold answers because I want to test you, but because I want to preserve your heart along this journey, so it is not crushed beneath what lies beyond your current understanding and capacity. So do not be discouraged when the answers haven't come. Do not grow angry when your prayers are not answered in the way you hoped. Do not assume my silence means I've forgotten you. I never forget. I am never far. I am simply waiting for your heart to be still enough, tender enough, mature enough, for me to place within it something deeper, truer, more enduring. And you will see, when that moment comes, it won't arrive like a crashing wave, but like quiet sunlight breaking through mist, like a gentle breeze carrying the scent of flowers into your mind. When you are ready, truth will not overwhelm you. It will heal you. It will not break you down. It will help you stand. It will not make you run. It will give you the courage to keep going. So, my child, live fully in your season. Trust that if I do not speak today, it is because tomorrow you will understand more deeply. Live each day not out of fear, but out of trust, that the one who holds your future also knows every beat of your present heart, and he is never late. I do not give everything at once. I give in rhythm with your heart, so that each gift is fitting, each truth is healing, each light helps you grow, not just in knowledge, but in love, in faith, in the true life I have prepared for you. Beloved child, there are things ahead in your life, things so great, so mysterious, so profound, that if I unveiled them now, you would be overwhelmed. Not because you are unworthy, but because your heart is not yet wide enough to carry them, not strong enough to endure them, not quiet enough to receive them fully, both the beautiful and the difficult. There are wondrous blessings being prepared for you, things that will bring you to tears of gratitude, doors opening you never dared to dream. But if I showed you now, your attention might drift from the small but vital work of today. You might become so caught up in tomorrow that you lose the faithfulness of this moment. You would walk with eyes toward the horizon, but miss what I'm doing beside you now. And there are also challenges ahead, not to destroy you, but to train you, to strengthen your soul, to awaken depths in you that only the opposing winds can stir. But if you saw that pain now, fear might stop your steps. You might hesitate. You might try to avoid with reason what you are meant to walk through with faith. And in doing so, you would never discover the strength and the wonder that await you on the other side of fear. So in my mercy I veil those things, not to trouble you, but to protect you. I cover them with a cloak of grace, so that when the time comes, when your soul is deep enough, bright enough, steady enough, each one will be placed in your hands at the right time, in the right way, in the right portion. Never too soon and never too late. Picture a child holding a small lamp, walking in the dark. That light isn't enough to reveal the whole road ahead, but it lights the few steps nearest to her. And each step taken in that small light leads her forward. I have placed such a lamp in your hand. It is trust. I have not given you the blinding light of your entire future, but I have given you the gentle light of my love for each day. I invite you to walk with me, not by certainty, but by trust. Not because you see clearly where the road leads, but because you know clearly who walks beside you. And the wonder is this: the more you walk, the more the veil is lifted, not by curiosity, but by faithfulness. Not because you demand to know, but because your heart becomes ready to receive. Do not rush to know everything, for knowledge is not always a blessing. Sometimes not knowing is the greatest grace I can give you, because it keeps you close to me. It makes you need me. It causes you to pause each day and ask, Father, what would you have me do today? Where are you in what I'm facing now? And in that very process, you yourself are transformed. I did not create you simply to reach a destination. I created you to live every step fully. And I did not promise that you would always know the way, but I did promise that you would never walk alone. So, my child, when the road ahead is unclear, do not be afraid. When you feel placed in a place of uncertainty, do not be anxious. Remember this: the light I give is always enough for the step you are on, and my love is large enough to cover even the parts of the journey you have yet to take. I hide certain things, not to deprive you, but to free you to live the present moment without the burden of the future. And when you choose to walk with me, step by step, day by day, with a heart that trusts, that loves, and that waits, everything will come, not just in the right time, but full of grace. You will see, not knowing everything does not make you weaker. It makes you more dependent on me. And that dependence, when born from love and not from fear, is what leads you to the deepest, truest, and most enduring connection between you and me. And you will realize trust has always been the shortest path to draw near to me. My beloved child, there are things in your life that you are not yet ready to receive, and that is not punishment. It's not because you are not good enough or worthy enough. No, my dear one, it is protection. My delays are not rejections. They are how I love you, with a wisdom far beyond what you can now comprehend. They are how I care for your soul, not by giving you everything quickly, but by giving you the right things at the right time, with deep and discerning love. If I were to lay out the entire map of your life before you, if you could see everything that will happen, both joy and sorrow, both blessings and trials, the joy of discovery would fade. Your soul would no longer marvel at the small wonders of each day. The light would no longer unfold gently, but shine too brightly, blinding you to the delicate beauty I've hidden in the details, so you might pause, observe, and feel. If you knew it all, you might live in constant anxiety, always waiting for what's next, always calculating how to avoid hardship. Or you might live in complacency, assuming the good that lies ahead is enough, and stop striving. Or worse, you might live in fear, afraid of losing what you know you'll have, afraid of pain, of surprise, even of the very future I am preparing to bless. But I don't want you to live that way. I don't want you trapped between what was and what's not yet. I want you to live in the present. Not because the present is everything, but because the present is where I am. This very moment, where you breathe, think, and choose, is the holiest place, where you can hear my voice, sense my leading, and respond with your true heart. The present is sacred, not because it is without trouble, but because it is where life unfolds. It is alive, because within it are things you can do differently, people you can love, words you can speak, and all these carry eternal weight. And if you keep reaching for the future or lingering in the past, you will miss the holy power of now. My child, it is here, in the present, that choices are made, not forced choices, but the choices of a free heart, to love, to forgive, to keep going, to believe even when things are unclear. It is in the present that love is offered, not theoretical love, but love in the eyes, in kind gestures, in your real presence with others. And it is in the present that maturity takes root, not loudly, not quickly, but surely and deeply, like a quiet stream nourishing the roots of your soul. I do not need you to worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow has its own grace. I do not need you to try to control what has not yet come. I only need you to stay with me, right now, in this moment, in this small and sacred pause, because it is here that you will meet me, not in forecasts or detailed plans, but in the stillness of your soul, when you dare to stop, breathe slowly, listen deeply, and say to me, I am here. And I will answer, I am here too, and you will know there is nothing more precious than the present, where you don't need full understanding to live fully, don't need foreknowledge to choose rightly, don't need a miracle to trust that I am moving, because I have always been present in every gaze you've met, every step you've taken, every breath you've drawn. So don't rush to know everything. Love the present. Live the present. Let the present become the place where you and I continue the journey, not with certainty, but with a peace-filled trust, because only in the present can love truly be lived. And that, my child, is where miracles begin. My beloved, if you live always in what hasn't happened yet, if your mind keeps drifting too far into the future, you will miss the most precious gift I am giving you now, this very moment. And I say this not to scold you, but to gently awaken your soul and call you back to what is truly alive, truly real, now. That is why I do not always speak to you with clarity, why I do not hand you a full plan from beginning to end, not because I want to stay distant, not because I am testing you like a strict teacher, but because I want you to be awake, not tense or fearful, but awake in the most beautiful way. Eyes open, heart open, ears open, and soul open, to truly see, truly hear, and truly feel. I use signs not to make things harder, but to make you pause. I want you not to live like a shadow passing through life, but like a soul who observes, who touches, who feels deeply. I want you to see what others overlook. The light falling on an old rooftop at dusk, the warmth in a stranger's eyes, the wind brushing gently past your heart. I want you to hear what others ignore, the whisper of your own conscience, a timely word of encouragement, the quiet pull to stop and listen, because when you begin to find me in these silent rhythms, in confirmations that seem small, in whispers hidden within the noise, in peaceful pauses, then your soul is truly alive, and you will begin to see a miracle. I am not only present at the destination, not just at the end of the road, but in every step you take, every choice you make, in this very breath you are breathing, this moment, right now. Because this, my dear one, is the sacred dance between you and me, a dance not built on certainty but on trust. I step first, and you follow. Sometimes you understand me when light shines clearly, when your heart rejoices in what I am doing, but sometimes you do not, when the night is thick, when my words are only a faint breath inside. And in both, in my revealing and my hiding, I am still loving you. True love does not need to be obvious to be real. On the contrary, the truest love often hides in silence, in the empty spaces you think are meaningless, in the hesitant rhythms you believe are lost. But no, my child, in every step I lead, in every moment I step back, there is purpose. There is a message. Trust me and stay. You do not need to understand everything. You only need not to step out of the dance. Do not stop just because you cannot hear clearly. Do not let go just because you haven't seen the result. Keep moving with the rhythm, even if slowly, even if trembling, as long as you are alive, as long as you believe, as long as you love. And when you live like that, you will see, I have never left your side, not even for a moment. I am the light in the darkness, the gentleness in your weariness, the assurance when nothing else seems certain. And I am the one holding your hand, not to lead you to a single destination, but to walk with you through each stage, each path, each breath. So remember this, do not live too far ahead. Do not chase what has not yet come to the point of losing what is here, right now, because here, in this very moment, I am whispering to you, and it is in this moment that the love between you and me is no longer a concept, but a sacred connection that is blooming, growing, and living each day. My beloved child, you have asked me before, with all sincerity and longing, why doesn't God speak more clearly? Why doesn't He show me everything? And today, to answer you, I gently return that very question and ask you, if I spoke with perfect clarity, if I drew out every step in detail, would you still long to seek me? Or would you simply follow instructions and forget my heart? Because, my dear one, when everything is revealed, the search ends. When there is no room for the unknown, trust begins to fade. And when you no longer need me to ask, to listen, to wait, the relationship between us slowly becomes a checklist, a lifeless guide, rather than a living journey of love. You see, even when I give you signs, nudges, and whispers, they are never puzzles meant to test your cleverness. They are not intelligence exams. They are not things to be decoded with your mind and stored away as trophies. These signs are invitations. Invitations for you to go deeper into the land of trust, where the heart comes before reason, where relationship comes before certainty. I do not need you to figure me out like some secret to be unraveled. I do not need you to decode me. I want you to know me. Know me through nearness, through companionship, through a deep relationship where I am not just the creator, but a friend, a father, the one who loves without weariness. And my child, between knowing what is right and knowing the one who is always present, I always choose the latter. I always choose relationship. Just imagine, if a little child were given a book detailing their entire life, the year they would succeed, the moment they would be hurt, the day they would fall in love, the day they would cry, would they still be able to play freely? Would they still dare to fall and rise again, to dream big dreams, to step into the unknown with bright eyes? Or would they become so cautious that they lose the vibrancy of their soul? You see, my child, you are still that child. No matter how many years you carry, no matter how many seasons you have walked through, your soul, in my eyes, remains pure, tender, and needing protection from burdens too heavy to bear. And so, I protect that wonder within you by showing you one part at a time, little by little. Not because I am hiding the rest from you, but because I am holding it in love. Waiting for the right moment, when your heart is wide enough, your spirit steady enough, your soul peaceful enough to receive it. Believe this, there will be times when I speak clearly. There will be situations that require direct guidance, and I will not withhold it. When needed, I will illuminate the path. I will make the steps known. I will not leave you wandering at critical crossroads. But even then, I will not give you the whole picture. I will only give enough for the next step, enough for you to move forward in trust, not in fear. Because I know, if you held everything in your hand, you would lose the most precious gift this journey can offer, the aliveness of faith. That faith is not born from knowing in advance. It grows in the moments of uncertainty, where you still choose to continue, even when nothing is clear, even when nothing is guaranteed. It is in those very moments that you and I draw closest. Because in those times, you are not relying on outcomes, not relying on a map. You are relying on me. You may ask, but I need to know so I can prepare. And I understand that longing. But my child, if what you prepare is based on what you already know, then you are preparing with reason, not with relationship. But if you prepare with the trust that I am going ahead of you, clearing the way, guarding every step, then you are preparing with faith. And that faith is what makes you tender without breaking, fragile without falling, strong while still keeping a heart that loves. I do not promise to tell you everything, but I promise to say enough. Enough so you don't stop. Enough so you know I am still leading. Enough so you do not have to carry it all alone. And more than anything, I promise to stay. When you hear nothing, I am still there. When you cannot see the road, I am still beside you. When you fear, I still love. When you fall, I still wait. When you are silent, I still whisper. I do not only want you to do what is right, I want you to know me, to trust me, to be near me. Because the true purpose of this journey is not for you to reach your destination perfectly. It is for you to know that you are never alone, and that the love I have for you is not found in the answers, but in every step we walk together. My beloved, so when that day comes, the one in the future that today only hints at, when you find yourself walking a path that seems familiar in the middle of life's unfolding moments, remember this conversation. Let these words echo in your soul as a gentle, loving reminder that even when I do not explain the meaning of every moment, I am still there, right beside you. You remember, my silence does not mean absence. Even if you do not yet see the significance of what is happening, even if you do not understand why it has come, even if I do not chart every detail for you like a blueprint, it does not mean I am withholding good things from you. No, my child, I am not keeping grace from you. I am keeping you for something greater. I am guarding your heart from the weight of knowing too much too soon. I am preserving the sacred space in which your soul is free to choose, free to trust, free to love, free to grow. And in that space, you will learn this: that love does not arise from certainty, but from a deep connection that remains, even when all else is still unrevealed. Because, my child, you were not created to live on spoilers as if your life were a movie whose ending you already know. No, you were not made to live out a pre-written script. You were created to live by faith. And faith is not the comfort of knowing everything, it is the courage to move forward when you don't, the heart to love without guarantees, the soul that chooses connection when it doesn't know what's ahead. And my child, when your faith no longer depends on results, no longer clings to whether things go as expected, but rests completely in me, the one who never changes, the one who loved you before you even knew how to ask, then, and only then, you will truly be unshakable. In that moment, you will no longer be shaken by circumstances. You will no longer feel unsettled when things remain unclear. You will no longer need proof to believe that I am at work. You will stand on an unshakable foundation, not the foundation of understanding, but the foundation of presence. Then you will be free. Free from the pressure to always know ahead. Free from the fear of taking a wrong step. Free to love fully, to live deeply, to walk forward without needing every assurance. And in that freedom, you will be ready, not just ready for the next thing, a decision, a journey, a change, but ready for all that I have quietly prepared for you, long before you ever dreamed of it. You will be able to receive great things without pride, face difficult things without falling apart, and live each day fully, without missing its beauty. That is why I do not reveal everything to you, not because I am distant from you, but because I love you too much to let you lose the wonder of walking each step with me. I love you too much to let you settle for the fleeting satisfaction of understanding when you were made for the eternal joy of communion. I do not want you to reach the destination just to say you were right. I want you to walk with me, hand in hand, step by step, sometimes in tears, sometimes in laughter, but always in the vibrant life of a relationship that cannot be broken. And when you walk like that, not needing to know everything, only needing to know that I am walking with you, you will discover something miraculous. My presence is not waiting for you at the end of the road, but is with you in every step you take. I am the one who was there from the beginning, the one who knows every tear you've shed, every breath you've swallowed in silence, the one who loves you, not because you understand much or do everything right, but because you are mine. So, my beloved, when that day comes, Remember, remember me. Remember this love. Remember the truth. I, your God, have always been and will always be here. O Lord, God of all wisdom, I know I cannot understand all of your plans, but while I wait, let not my heart grow bitter. When the answers have not yet come, help me rest in your silence. Let the delay become the ground where my faith grows, not the place where doubt takes hold. Loving God, teach me to trust you, not because I know what's ahead, but because I know who you are. When everything in me longs for certainty, grant me a deeper faith, a faith not rooted in outcomes, but anchored in you. Even when I do not see clearly, help me to walk with trust and peace. Lord, I thank you that you are not only present at the destination, but with me in every step. Thank you for your gentle guidance, for the quiet signs, for the pauses filled with peace. Thank you for being there, even when I do not recognize it. Thank you for not giving me everything all at once. Thank you for protecting the purity of my heart by withholding what I am not yet ready to carry. Thank you for loving me enough not to rush, and for leading me step by step with all patience and mercy. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.